the Caribbean is a diverse region when it comes to race. So when it comes to history, religion, whatever. And our leaders acknowledge that race, religion, history, we're diverse. But what they don't realize is that we are diverse in personality. I mean, if somebody wants to choose to love who they want to choose to love, that is their choice. Our leaders shouldn't say, no, you're not allowed to. Or if, and I'm talking about if one person of one race wants to love the next person of that race, our leaders and our community, they look down on that. Why? So that,
and you see, she's bringing up a very, now it's sort of brushed under the carpet, like, no, we are much more open now, much more. No. This is a very valid topic. When we start talking about racism, etc.,
yes,
it's a huge issue in this country.
And the bad thing is that they still use it in politics.
Yeah,
it's so they will try to play it as, oh no, I didn't mean that in a racist way, but you meant it in a racist way.
Correct.
There's no other political party that you could really vote for. I don't know what really causes it. Like, they're the blind voters, the ones who... And I mean, a lot of people, I don't think it can be denied that people vote for the UNC because they're Indian and people vote for the PNM because they're Creole. I mean, I don't know. I really can't say. I don't pay that much attention to it, but it's something that I hear a lot from a lot of people who bother to discuss these kind of things. I don't even think it's worth my time.
Yeah, and you see, a lot of it is being bred by the older generation.
Yeah,
but personally, like, for example, I'll use myself as an example. I have put a stop to it. So, for example, if I am in the confines of my home and I hear it, let's say, coming from a grandmother or grandfather, because the older generation, they just send it down.
Yeah.
I put a stop to it, as in, I refuse, like, my internal environment has to be controlled, because what is spoken in privacy is what is being read outside.
exactly. So the words such as the N-word, because I don't want to say it, coolie, white, these things need to end. Let's refer to our colleagues as their name, as who they are. Don't say, hey, that coolie, they're listening, drinking some rum, or that so-and-so stealing from me because he's a black person. And that is what is plaguing the Caribbean, and it's very sad.
No, but the thing is, I personally don't see a problem with referring to someone as East Indian, for example.
Yes.
African, I'm African, you are, I don't know, mix up, right? Right. The thing is, I think we need to be able to speak freely and openly, but always again respecting each other. And I think that's what's lacking, a true respect of the points of references that these different cultures or races are bringing to us.
Because it's
Correct. And the interesting thing about it is we are planning for the future, but we can't successfully plan for the future unless we truly understand our past
and our present.
Correct. And so it really begs the question, the average Trinbagonian, do they really understand, okay, for example, me, do I understand what it means to be a black woman, or as we call it in Trinidad, a red woman, which means like you mix up and you have all kind of thing in you. Do you understand what it means to be an East Indian woman? Do you have a good appreciation of your history? And now taking that, we say, okay, we understand the challenges, we understand where we went very wrong previously. How do we make amends to this for the future?
But that's the next thing as well, is that have we ever learned from our mistakes?
That's correct.
We keep making the same mistakes over and over, but we're not getting any better. We're not going further. We've had 50 years of independence.
Exactly, and you know,
and just like Singapore, which we always compare ourselves to, the same amount of independence time we've had, but they have much more advanced technology.
Exactly, and you know,
the thing is, I think we're lacking some serious, honest discussions at the high level and at the mid level, what we call it the gross level, the grassroots level.
And you know, I would always remember something a secondary school teacher said to me. She said, you make a mistake once, it's a mistake. You make a mistake twice, it could probably still be a mistake, but you make a mistake 3 times and it's a choice.
Correct.
So everything that's happening now is by choice. Don't say it's a mistake. Where we are now, it's the Caribbean's choice, because we choose not to develop and not to move on from the mistakes we made in the past.
Yeah, I think
one of the issues as well is that our leadership is really lacking, and it stems from always fighting for power. When one party is trying to fight the opposition party, and it is huge bad politics when it comes to I'm bad talking you now as a party, And I think that that's really wrong. It's a really, instead of voting for the best person, it's voting for the lesser of the two evils.
Exactly. And all these high people, they're not too open-minded. They have this very narrow way that it has to be this way or it's no way. They look a lot at, well, I guess because of their age, they are more traditional in a sense, and they're not too open-minded to where young people, we have so much ideas. When you bring forward these ideas to them, they kind of shut it down and they're like, no, it's not necessarily going to work, or because it's done, it's such a different way of doing it. They're afraid of that change. Exactly.
Pertaining to the older generation, I have a friend who works for his uncle, and his uncle's like, yes, you have great plans, you're a great business person, I have a bunch of ideas and plans for you. So time passed and nothing came out of it. So he approached his uncle and was just like, what's going on? He's like, well, to tell you the truth, the CEO, and people I want you to meet with, they're not going to take you seriously. He's like, why? It's like, well, your hair is long, you have bands on your hand, you have eyebrow piercings, whatnot. So the person's uncle was just like, you need to change your complete image because it's very stereotypical, very semantical, and your image is everything.
And I kind of don't agree with that because, again, because we're becoming a lot more creative people. People are expressing it in different means and forms. And some people have tattoos on their body, but that doesn't mean they're a bad person.
That comes back to what Naima said about they're too close-minded.
My personal work with Conflicts Women Limited is the way through Global Shapers and through Trinidad and Tobago we are actively making a difference. We financially empower survivors of domestic and sexual violence by providing them with a monthly income and free training in product design and business development in exchange for their jewelry pieces, for example, the ones I'm wearing today. And each piece is sold with the anonymous story of the survivor who's made it. So we're doing two things. We're breaking a cycle of violence by financially empowering survivors, and we're also starting a dialogue on violence against women, which is a social stigma in Trinidad and Tobago.
The people of the Caribbean don't realize the importance of gender equality for development. Correct. They think it's all about making money and, trade and whatnot. But gender inequality is a big deal, and it's a main cause for underdevelopment. So, that's why the forum itself is including gender as a main topic. And so, to find solutions, what you asked, how do we move on? I think the forum and other forums that will follow will be a good way to get that idea out.